there is a timeline for your mission that is not just about you. I think so often people can go, oh God, why am I so blocked? I've got this big vision and I can't make it happen. The world isn't ready. The timing isn't ready. You're not ready. It's never just about you. Trust that the mission will manifest at the right time and it will manifest at the right speed for you. I've seen many people take intuitive messages and try and force them into their life. And I always say, if that is your truth, it will happen.
Now you will notice that you can barely see this man because he is wearing what is called a scramble suit.
Not paying attention to
the exact same suit he wears and in fact must wear during certain parts, in fact most parts of his daily activities of law enforcement.
You are living spirit.
This man, whom we will call Fred because that is the code name under which he reports the information he gathers, once within the scramble suit, cannot be detected by even the latest in voice and facial recognition technology. The scramble suit itself is purportedly made up of approximately 1.5 million fraction representations of men, women, and children in every variant, making the wearer of a scramble suit the ultimate everyman.
This is terrible.
If we come, in whatever way we come, to the understanding that what we essentially are is already that for which we were seeking, by definition, at that moment, the search collapses.
D is for dumbness and despair, desertion. The desertion of your friends from you, you from your friends. Everyone from everyone.
Isolation, loneliness, hating and suspecting each other. D is finally death.
Hear me out, fam. Hear me out. This is gonna get good right now. So check this out. A lot of these beings, these narcissists, evil people, they made an actual deal with a demon, with the devil, to take you out. But here's the deal. They've been doing this before. They've done this many times to all of their victims, but the people they've done it to before, they took them out. And these people weren't chosen ones. There were other demons or other people that have to go through karmic lessons or whatnot. But here's where it got interesting. These people, their head got too big, right? So the devil himself came to them, right? They conjured up a demon. Some it was Satan himself. But these people conjured up a demon, right? Because they were doing so good in taking these other people out, that the demon came to them and was like, yo, listen, you've been doing such a good job giving us souls and giving us people that we're very proud of you. We're so proud of you right now, but listen, we got a test for you, and this one we're really gonna reward you if you succeed in winning this one. And they were gassed, like, yeah, you know, I'm ready for it, because they took all these people out before in the past. You know what I'm saying? So they were like, yeah, we're ready. So they were like, you see that one over there? I want you to make that one go crazy. I want that one I want that one soul over there. And they were like, oh, this is gonna be easy. You wanna know why? Oh shit, this is gonna get good. Because the people that they took out before, the demons and all these other people that they gave up to these demons before, these people that they took out before were like gangsters and tough people. People that look like they in the mafia, the mob, you know, or even girls that think they got it going on, guys that got it like this and that and the third, whatever. But these people look tougher than you, right? So they got gas. They like, yo, I took out those people before. I could definitely take that one out over there. So what happened with that one over there, which is you? They looked your way, right? And as they were looking your way, they were like, yo,
that was freaky.
They saw an earth angel, but they didn't see an earth angel. They just saw somebody, you know, just chilling, somebody that seems nice, innocent. That was you, pure-hearted. They were like, yo, if I could take out those monsters, I could definitely take that one out over there. That's gonna be easy cake. So the demon was like, okay, so do you accept the mission? And they were like, hell yeah. This is gonna be a piece of cake. This is gonna be a doozy. As a matter of fact, this is gonna be the easiest thing I've ever done in my life. You know what I'm saying? And the demon was like, yeah, I'm gonna reward you big time. You know what I'm saying?
This knowing presence had taken the shape of this vain thought.
Oh man, your reward is gonna be
in other words,
huge.
I,
They were like,
within myself, but seemingly outside of myself,
easy
project
cake. You know what I'm saying? So this is what
and
happened.
this world.
So then when they tried it with you, they failed
And then at a certain
Now
moment,
here's where it gets even crazier. Yo,
this
this is
knowing
gonna
presence
get good, man.
withdraws.
Here's what's gonna
projection.
get crazy. You see that innocent little
So it's
pure-hearted
never
person
an
that they
entity
sold in there?
that turns round
That was actually a
to
warrior in
face
sheep's
its true
clothing.
nature.
Not a wolf, not a lion, a warrior of the Most High. A warrior of the Most High. It's like Saint Michael himself came down from all his glory and said, let me put this costume on and pretend that I'm so innocent. So now they pissed. But you know why they pissed? Because they feel like it was entrapment. You know when the cops entrap you to do something, to break a law, and that's how they feel. They feel like you played them. They feel like, yo, if you would have never pretended to be an innocent little, you know, goody two-shoe, I would have never felt for this. And now I owe my soul to this demon because I failed. So they mad at you. They mad because they feel like you entrapped them, bro. These people are crazy. They like that. I thought you was just a little small fish. I know you was the fish of all fishes. You know what I'm saying? I thought you was, damn, what the hell did I get myself into? Because now, since they failed, that demon's like, guess what? You failed. Because the demon was the one that entrapped them. The demon knew who you were. It was the demon that got them. The demon knew exactly who you were. And then the demon knew that it was going to entrap this person. So it was the demon that Satan, Satan himself, to many of y'all, was the one that entrapped these people. But they looking at you like, damn, you played them. You should have told them from the beginning, but you did tell them. You used to tell them all the time, yo, I'm chosen, I'm protected. And these people, excuse me, and these people, you know what I'm saying, they were like, yo, they were like, I'll shut up. You're a small bug. I've destroyed bigger fish than you. Because they did in the past. They thought that, you know what I'm saying, they were like, yeah, you know what I'm saying, this is going to be easy money. And they feel like you entrapped them. But you did it. they the ones that got caught up, and now they have to deal with that. And it sucks for them, bro. It sucks because they're pissed off at you. Instead of saying, damn, I'm sorry, man, to you, and saying, man, you know, admitting to you, this is what happened. This demon told me to take you out, and I didn't know you was who you said you was, and I got caught up. Nah, instead of them thinking like that, they're actually resenting you more because they feel like you played them. They feel like you entrapped them, that you trapped them into something that they should have never gotten themselves into. Because they saw something super easy and instead it became the hardest task of their life. But now they're going to have to deal with the consequences, fam. You on the clear. That's all I'm gonna tell you. You on the clear, fam. So listen, hear me out, fam. They did it to themselves. They did it to themselves. But guess what? The same way the demon was like, yo, I was gonna reward you had you given me that one soul. It's the same way the Most High is like, I'm gonna reward you because we got him. Because the Most High was the one that entrapped the demon. Feel me? The demon entrapped them, and then the Most High used you to entrap that demon. So now that demon is pissed. That demon is like, yo, I'm gonna need something for something. And guess who it's going for? The same person that tried to look to you like if you was this corny little sheep. They ain't know you was the warrior of all warriors, fam. That's what's up. I just wanted to tell y'all this message, man. I feel good, baby. How you guys feeling today? Y'all feeling Gucci Maguni? Y'all did your affirmations? Y'all told yourselves how beautiful and wonderful and powerful you are? How fearless you are? You told yourself already today? Let me remind you to do it. Let me remind you to do it again. Can't even say it now. You know what I'm saying? I can't even say it right. I love y'all, baby. I gotta go, man.
We cannot know what is true. We have absolutely got no idea. Even science is absolutely not true. It's just also a pointer.
We've been here before, you and I, not in this body, not in this skin, but in the light beneath it. We've walked the stars together, we've spoken colors, and moved through dimensions like the breath. But then, you forgot. See, they taught you to shrink, to silence the knowing, to trade your cosmic memory for survival. But now, you're hearing the call again, and that's not a coincidence. That is alignment. That is remembrance. See, we are not gods and we are not separate.
Like zero.
We are the architects,
Great.
the travelers,
to worry about
the fragments of source that came here to build, to break the illusions, and to help you remember who you are. Your dreams, well, they are maps. Your emotions, that is your sentient technology, that is the physical body, sensing subtle frequency shifts. Every time you feel like you don't belong here, it's because you don't, not fully. You came here to anchor the codes, to be the key, to remember so loudly
I always think of the universe
that others around you remember too.
A record,
this planet is sacred,
and you're listening to a song.
And
okay?
you?
And
well, you are the medicine.
That song is
you are not small,
past,
and you are not random. You are a seed from the stars,
only
planted in human skin. And I,
but if
I'm
you're not
here
listening,
to
it
remind
doesn't
you
mean
of
the
that.
record doesn't exist. It always
We've been here before.
And yes, it can be overwhelming. It can feel like your emotions are driving the car while you're just along for the ride. But the alternative, being emotionally numb or disconnected, isn't strength, it's avoidance. What you have is life in its rawest form. And while it may burn hot sometimes, it also fuels everything that makes life worth living. People like you, people who feel this deeply, often carry the weight of the world on their shoulders. You don't just see suffering, you feel it. You don't just read about injustice, it keeps you up at night. You cry at beauty,
Sometimes,
art,
said Thoreau,
kindness,
as I drift idly on
because
Walden
you
Pond,
see something
I cease
in
to
it
live
that others
and begin
miss.
to be. The walls
You
of space and
understand
time
that
are
pain
illusory.
and love are not
This is the
opposites.
prelude to
Two
immortality.
sides of the same
We're forced to
coin.
recall the words of the
You
English
can't have
poet
one
John Doe. Never send to
without
know for
risking
whom the bell
other.
tolls.
And still,
it tolls
you
for thee.
choose to care. You choose to open your heart, even when it's been broken, again and again. That's a kind of bravery, because it would be so easy, so tempting to shut it all off, to stop feeling so much, to go cold. But you don't. Because somewhere deep inside, you know that the depth of your emotion is what makes you human. It's what allows you to connect, to create, to understand. It's what allows you to love with your whole soul, not just your words. But here's where the challenge lies. People who don't feel as deeply as you do often won't understand you. They'll misread your passion as overreaction. Your silence is moodiness. Your compassion is naivety. You might be told you're too sensitive, as if that's something to be ashamed of. But what they don't understand, what they can't understand, is that your sensitivity is the sign of awareness. You're awake, you're engaged, you're present in ways many people have forgotten
And
how
all
to
my
be.
senses were
Of
magnified
course, this
by about
emotional
20.
intensity has a shadow side.
I could hear so much better, I could see so much better.
Fatigued, you can
Like,
struggle to protect yourself
It was
because
so
you're constantly
strange
open.
the way that I
That
could see.
openness
I honestly
is
felt
a
like
risk.
I had
It
stepped
leaves you
into another
vulnerable.
dimension.
But without vulnerability, there is no authenticity, there is no real connection, there's only performance. You weren't made to perform, you were made to feel and to live in alignment with those feelings.
Hey, take a breath for a second. Just breathe. I know things feel like a lot. Your thoughts might be spinning. You might be carrying way more than you've let anyone know. And I get it. But I need you to hear me on this. You're not crazy. And you're not broken. You're just growing. Expanding beyond the limitations of the past. This full moon, well, it's like a spotlight on everything that's been simmering underneath the surface. Stuff you thought you moved on from, old feelings, regrets, dreams you buried. Yeah.
People describe him as childlike and appears kind of delusional about some things.
And I'm not saying that's easy. Healing ain't always clean or cute. Sometimes it feels like you're losing pieces of yourself. But the truth is, you're just shedding the version of you that was trying to survive. You're becoming the version that's ready to live. So if your thoughts are spiraling tonight, call someone. If you feel like quitting, rest, but never give up. And if your heart is louder than usual, then listen. This full moon is here to clear space, to show you what's been weighing you down. And yeah, it might hurt a bit, but the other side of this, clarity, peace, alignment. You're not meant to carry it all alone.
About some things.
You're allowed to ask for help, and you're also allowed to be in your process. And most importantly, you are allowed to let it go.
People describe him as
you don't have a solid plan on what comes next. I'm proud of you, even if no one said it lately. I see how hard you've been trying. You gotta keep going. This season will stretch you, but it won't break you. Not if you stay honest and authentic to your heart And if you remember, you're not doing this alone. Hey, take a breath for a second. Just breathe. I know things feel like a lot. Your thoughts might be spinning. You might be carrying way more than you've let anyone know. And I get it, but I need you to hear me on this. You're not crazy, and you're not broken. You're just growing, expanding beyond the limitations of the past. This full moon, well, it's like a spotlight on everything that's been simmering underneath the surface. Stuff you thought you moved on from, old feelings, regrets, dreams you buried. Yeah, it's all coming back up, but not to mess with you. It's coming up so you can finally let it go. And I'm not saying that's easy. Healing ain't always clean or cute. Sometimes it feels like you're losing pieces of yourself. But the truth is, you're just shedding the version of you that was trying to survive. You're becoming the version that's ready to live. Your thoughts are spiraling tonight. Call someone. If you feel like quitting, rest, but never give up. And if your heart is louder than usual, then listen. This full moon is here to clear space, to show you what's been weighing you down. And yeah, it might hurt a bit, but the other side of this, clarity, peace, alignment. You're not meant to carry it all alone. That creates back problems. You're allowed to ask for help, and you're also allowed to be in your process. And most importantly, you are allowed to let it go. Even if you don't have a solid plan on what comes next. I'm proud of you. Even if no one said it lately, I see how hard you've been trying. You gotta keep going.
I felt like I had stepped into another dimension.
Describe him as completely childlike, and he appears kind of delusional about some things.
travel anywhere and experience the world from a protected space. Travel anywhere and experience the world from a protected space. Travel anywhere and experience the world from a protected space.
Solution to the unconscious madness, to the rambling that you're not even aware of, and that is to become aware of it and to start choosing.
let's face it, if you're trying to take the First Amendment away,
there's a solution to the unconscious madness,
anytime somebody's trying to make
rambling that you're not even aware of, and that is
not your friend.
to become aware of it and to start choosing.
But let's face it, if you're trying to take the First Amendment away, you are an enemy. Just like the people who would blow themselves up on the subway, you are the enemy if you're coming to take away our Constitution. Not my friend, don't want you. You know what I mean?
Start choosing. Start choosing. Start choosing. There's a solution. Solution. Start choosing. Start choosing. Start choosing.
Felt like I had stepped into another dimension. Felt like I had stepped into another dimension.
From a machine here. That means it's transmitting there. What if it's not just predicting the future?
It's broadcast.
When I touched this thing, for a few minutes it felt like anything was possible, so then why can't the opposite happen? What if the monitor is just a giant pin? But instead of making you think positive, it makes you think negative, and it's convincing the whole world to feed the wrong wolf. We need to turn that thing off.
days. She's dreaming. She just doesn't know it.
What happens if she wakes up? Gonna die. Jitsu's a hint at it. This place has nothing to do with hope. It's the opposite of hope.
Oh, don't say that.
Why not? You said
What is it about?
You gave up.
That's what I knew about you. You really are special.
Why do you people keep saying that to me? I'm not!
There is a maze in the desert, carved from sand and rock. A vast labyrinth of pathways and corridors, 100 miles long, 1,000 miles wide, full of twists and dead ends. Picture it. A puzzle you walk, and at the end of this maze is a prize just waiting to be discovered. All you have to do is find your way through. Picture it. Is find your way through. Can you see the maze? Its walls and floors, its twists and turns. Good. Because the maze you've created in your mind is itself the maze. There is no desert, no rock or sand. There is only the idea of it. But it's an idea that will come to dominate your every waking and sleeping moment. Picture it. Puzzle, you walk. You're inside the maze now. You cannot escape. Welcome to madness.
As we glide into the shimmering pupil, a glass tunnel unfurls before us, inviting us into a world unseen. The train whispers along tracks of light, reflecting on the turbulent waters below. Ancient oak trees stand sentinel, their branches weaving tales of yore. The walls around us glow softly, illuminating pathways of thought and memory. With each turn, the landscape shifts, a dance of light and shadow, where imagination and reality blur. Here the Toltec's wisdom guides us, leading to the shaman's entrance, a doorway to enlightenment. Feel the calm, the serene pulse of creativity as Metatron's train rolls gently forward. Through the glass tunnel, we glimpse worlds within worlds, all contained within the expanse of one mind. So step aboard and let your spirit soar as we traverse this ethereal journey inside the mind, where every thought is a destination and every heartbeat a rhythm of endless wonder.
Is hopelessly entangled. To alter and determine what is perceived. Is hopelessly entangled.
To entertain the miracles of color and form.
He stands alone, in the heart of the labyrinth. 14 corridors stretch out before him, each a path unknown. The air hangs heavy, filled with the scent of damp earth and distant water. He is a man of our times, dressed in slim-fitting jeans, a crisp white shirt. His leather boots are worn but cared for. On his wrist, a watch gleams, a silent counter in this timeless place. He doesn't move. He is the center, the maze revolves around him. This place, it feels alive, waiting. 14 corridors, each one beckons with its own silent invitation. Some are narrow, the walls close, claustrophobic. Others open wide, promising space, freedom. The walls themselves are a study in contrasts. Rough-hewn stone, cold and unforgiving, smooth polished marble, cool against his fingertips. Ivy winds its way up some walls, a living tapestry of green. One path slopes gently downward, the sound of rushing water growing louder with each step. Another climbs, the air thinning, the promise of light at its end. 14 choices, 14 journeys. Mirrors line the walls of one corridor. They reflect his image back at him, 1,000 distorted versions of himself. He raises a hand and the reflections mimic him, a chorus of silent gestures. Light spills from the end of another path, a warm, inviting glow that promises escape from the maze's embrace. But is it a trick of the light? A false promise leading him further astray. Some paths are shrouded in shadow, the darkness seeming to press in on him. He shivers, though the air is not cold. It is the darkness that chills, the unknown that whispers on the wind. The sound of water draws him closer to one path. A stream, clear and cold, flows beside the path, its surface broken by rocks and boulders. He kneels, dips his hand in the water. It is a fleeting connection to the world outside. The maze is a living thing. He can feel it watching him, judging his every step. The air hums with a low, constant vibration, the echo of some ancient power. Which path to choose? Each one holds its own dangers, its own secrets. The maze offers no answers, only more questions. He closes his eyes, takes a deep breath. He is a man of logic, of reason, but the maze cares nothing for such things. Here, intuition is his only guide. He opens his eyes, and he chooses. One step forward, into the unknown.
Nor do I, my dear, but I am trying very hard. I know. But ultimately, we are not supposed to understand. But I also know that we must try.
Before him stood the entrance, draped in ivy, beckoning him closer. He, a man of style and confidence, hesitated. Long, dark curls framed eyes full of apprehension. This was no ordinary doorway. This was a threshold to somewhere else. Taking a breath, he pushed the ivy aside. Emerald leaves whispered secrets against his skin as he stepped into the unknown. The air inside was cool and damp, the scent of moss and water heavy in the air. Above, a sliver of sky peeked through the leafy canopy, promising light, promising a way out. He took another step, and the maze embraced him. The path forked immediately. 14 corridors stretched before him, each one a dizzying tunnel of mirrors. They reflected his image back 1,000-fold, each reflection a mockery of his solitude. Unease prickled at him. He was a man accustomed to company, to the admiring gaze of others. Here there was only himself, multiplied into infinity. Taking a breath, he chose a corridor at random. It didn't matter which way he went, he told himself. All paths led to the light, didn't they? Yet doubt wormed its way into his thoughts. What if there was no light at the end of this labyrinth? What if this maze was nothing but an elaborate trap? He pushed the thought away, focusing on the feel of cool stone beneath his feet, the gentle drip of water from somewhere unseen. One step at a time, he told himself, one reflection at a time. The corridors twisted and turned, each turn revealing more mirrored hallways, more reflections of himself. He lost track of time. Was it hours he'd been wandering? Days? The outside world with its bustle and noise felt a lifetime away. Here there was only the sound of his own breath, the gentle whisper of water, and a faint, persistent humming that seemed to emanate from the mirrors themselves. He ran his hand along the cool glass, his reflection mimicking the movement. The light at the end of the corridor pulsed, a beacon in the growing darkness of his doubt. He wasn't sure if he was imagining it, but the light seemed brighter now, closer. Hope, fragile as a butterfly's wing, fluttered in his chest. He walked on, each step a victory against the despair threatening to engulf him. He stopped, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He was turned around, utterly lost. Every direction looked the same, an endless hall of mirrors reflecting his own fear back at him. His carefully styled hair hung limp. His fashionable clothes felt suffocating in the humid air. He sank down onto the cold stone floor, the weight of his solitude pressing down on him like a physical burden. What was he doing here? Why had he ever thought he could conquer this maze? This wasn't a place for someone like him, a man who thrived on the superficial, on the fleeting reflections of admiration in other people's eyes. Here, there was only the reflection of his own soul, and it terrified him. He closed his eyes, shutting out the endless reflections, the whispers of water, the humming of the maze itself. He needed to think, to find a way out of this labyrinth of his own making. He opened his eyes. The faint humming that had been a constant presence since he entered the maze seemed louder now, vibrating in his very bones. It wasn't coming from the mirrors, it was coming from beneath him, from the very floor of the maze itself. He stood, pressing his palm against the cool stone. The humming intensified, and he realized there was a faint warmth beneath his hand. He ran his fingers over the stone, tracing the path of the warmth. It led him to a section of the wall that seemed no different from the others. But when he pressed his hand against it, he felt the same faint vibration. He pushed. The wall yielded, revealing a hidden passage shrouded in shadow. He hesitated at the entrance to the hidden passage. Doubt, a familiar companion, whispered in his ear, "What if this was a dead end? What if it led him deeper into the maze, further from the light?" But something in the humming, in the warmth that radiated from the hidden passage, urged him forward. He took a deep breath and stepped inside. The air here felt different, charged with energy. The passage was narrow, the air thick with the smell of damp earth and something else, something sweet and ancient. He brushed aside hanging vines, their leaves a symphony of emerald and jade. And then he saw it. At the end of the passage, a light glowed. Not the warm yellow of the sun, but a vibrant, pulsing green. It beckoned him forward, promising not just escape, but something more, something he couldn't quite grasp. He moved towards the light, his fear receding with each step. The humming was almost deafening now, vibrating through him, resonating with something deep within his soul. He realized with a suddenness that took his breath away that the humming wasn't coming from the maze. It was coming from him. He reached the end of the passage and stepped out into a vast cavern. The air here shimmered, alive with energy. In the center of the cavern, the source of the green light pulsed, a swirling vortex of energy. He didn't need to question, didn't need to doubt. He knew with a certainty that surpassed anything he had ever known before that this was the way out, not just from the maze, but from the confines of his own limited perception. He stepped forward into the light, into the unknown, and embraced it. He stumbled, blinded by the light. He raised a hand to shield his eyes, the world slowly coming back into focus. Gone was the oppressive darkness of the maze, the endless reflections, the whispers of water, and the humming that had resonated in his very bones. He stood in a meadow bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. Birds sang in the trees, their voices a melody of pure joy. He took a deep breath, the air sweet with the scent of wildflowers. He had found his way out. More importantly, he had found his way in. He turned back to look at the maze, expecting to see the entrance from where he had emerged, but there was nothing. Only a wall of shimmering light, as if the maze itself was nothing more than a reflection, a figment of his imagination. He reached out a hand to touch it, but it passed through, the light cool against his skin. He smiled. He understood. The maze hadn't been about finding a way out. It had been about finding a way in, about facing his own reflection and embracing the unknown within himself. And in doing so, he had broken free, not just from the maze, but from the prison of his own self-doubt. He turned and walked away from the shimmering wall, towards the setting sun, a new lightness in his step. A newfound clarity in his eyes. The world, he realized, was a maze of infinite possibilities, and he was finally ready to explore it.
figure out where you're starting from. You'll need to pick a destination. You'll need to set a course and trust your true north to guide you along the way.
Look at this. We're going to do this right now.
That trip starts when the pilot enters your destination into his navigation system.
One of our best and brightest folks. We have the best coders, don't we?
When you're flying at 35,000 feet, that pilot will be able to look out the window and see for miles in every direction.
Imagine the wildest, most beautiful valley you've ever seen.
I'm not afraid. I was a little afraid. That's terrifying.
And a lake that sparkles like polished glass.
Every drop is precious.
Your true north might not be obvious at first.
A rainbow is right color in the sky.
It's going to be a long trip, so you'll probably have to make some stops along the way.
So we take refuge in the waves. We take refuge in presence with what's right there and the understanding that guides us. So we take refuge,
And now, here I am again with a new destination.
we tend to think, this kind of thing, that could be a portal. Yeah, when I'm on the top of the mountain, I'm seeing the ripple of other mountains, or I'm by the river, I'm with the loved one. We have our places, and that can be the portal to spiritual experience.
If you march in a single direction, ultimately you'll get somewhere.
And into some kind of machine-like hyperspatial biomechanical logos.
You can indeed be the powers that be.
The real clarity that, like, I don't know that I can choose that, and I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. But ultimately,
We have developed an amazing array of instruments.
You can indeed be the powers that be.
We have developed an amazing array of instruments.
next? You pick a new destination. You start all over again.
But a real clarity that like I don't know that I can choose that, and I'm not going to try to figure that out right now. But ultimately we shared that with a lot of our relationship is so much about like like I definitely comfortability could have just like held that and not shared that because that would feel for sure more safe. But our relationship, there's just such a flow of truth and we all feel each other so much it's impossible to hold anything. And you had a very interesting reflection when we shared that too.
Yeah, I was actually just tracking the same thing. Thank you for thinking back to that moment of like coming and sharing it with me and just feeling how easy it would be to not or to let it sit. And it was also surprising to me in a lot of ways, and it was also very much probably the first like extremely mystical moment of this path, because within the previous months to that trip, I had 2 experiences with friends who, for me, are people who I like really honor their channel and like what they see in their reflection. And they didn't know that we were kind of dancing any kind of like romantic context. I hadn't shared their channel and like what they see in their reflection. And they didn't know that we were kind of dancing any kind of like romantic context. I hadn't shared that with them yet. And both of them had shared that they had some kind of vision of me and Aubrey having children. And at that time, I kind of dismissed them because, in my mind, one, that was not a possibility, and I was tracking how, like, could see you as, like, the divine masculine
and a lake. It sparkles like polished glass.
Just to start this, let me invite you for a little bit of free association.
See you as, like,
what images conjure up the word order? If we were to close our eyes, just pay a little attention, what do you see? It's usually purity, life-sustaining aspects, transparency. Or for the more visually inclined, it's a pristine lake or a bubbly creek or a thirst-quenching spring.
What does this mean, not being something here that's tied to my destiny?
So let's just put it on the shelf now.
Also sharing in the, well, how does this even work? Like, what does this mean, not being? And also sharing in the, well, how does this even work? Like, what does this mean, not being like, oh yeah, perfect, we'll just figure it out. I've always, most of the sisters in my life, always been very much what you would call a girl's girl, and like our relationship as well, like never
use it as an anchor to descend to the more mundane relationship we have with the world.
And so in that moment, I think we all just kind of just like, what do we do with this, while also acknowledging that there was something that was coming to meet us.
Yeah, and I think intentional choice to kind of bracket this mystical experience and temporarily regress back into our pre-tragic.
And all the raindrops just dropping all over my skin, it just felt so incredible. It's like, that's how kids are.
In this moment, I remember where I was sitting and the message from Egypt, I looked at it, that's a really long message, like what's that about? So I listened to the whole message and